Hello, everybody. As I told you, my video that I made last night about our midterm portfolios didn't quite turn out. Sadly, the sound was all garbled, and I am having to redo it tonight. So, my first person that I would like to talk to is Jenna. And Jenna, I have already opened up your portfolio. Okay, so here she's got her PDF. Let's see, I guess I could make this a little bit larger. That's better. Okay, so Jenna, I see you thinking so hard. I love what you've done here with your typography. So just Jenna. I think that part's great. And I love the color. Love the colors. I never get over color. But in this case, I feel like your aesthetic with your artwork is so clean and refined, and it has certain tones to it, and I feel like this slide could be more reflective of your style. I'm not saying anything about the typography. I'm feeling these. It appears to be like printmaking or screen printing. That is the vibe that I'm getting. And I mean, everything else is just perfect. And not that I don't think it's beautiful. I just, going through your slides, I feel like it doesn't quite mesh with everything. Okay, so let's look at the next. And you can disagree with me, you're the artist. All right, and so with your movie poster, I love how you're giving us so much information leading up to the images that you took and how you've framed them and made them appear, like actual printed images. And, you've got the little cowboy hat nod and the giddy up rope. I always think of, there's a font called Giddy Up, and it's made out of, I guess, like lasso rope, kind of that feel. But the colors, the background, all of the information, I think it is fantastic. I really love it. And this is such a nice touch, hanging on the edge of the R. So cool. And then you show us in the next slide how you refined that idea and, using your model, and then you incorporated shape, and you were thinking about the cowboy hat. I absolutely love your notes. I think your notes they really speak to, I would say, every artist. Anyone who were to review your portfolio. And then I love, how you incorporated the colors into the background, and we had talked about that before. Okay. I was upset because I couldn't see the entire image, and this is such a fantastic movie poster. I've expressed to you how much I appreciate it and how everything came together, and then you added the flames, to reflect the flames in your movie poster. So that, and the fact that you included the elements that you used is so impressive to me. That's our artists' love language, you know? It's like those are the words. We know those words. We know what they mean. And they speak to all of us. Okay, so portrait photography. I really like the side-by-side view and how you kind of capitalized on the artwork itself, the vector artwork, and then your portrait is, you know, kind of offset. And I am so appreciative about you mentioning the software that you used. That, to me, really speaks to your skills. Anyone who would hire you for any kind of design work, really, would respond to that. Okay, and then your portrait photography. So this is your full vectorized image, and I'm so pleased to see it in its entirety. And talking about tones and shadows, and especially skin tones, and color variation in this particular work, I think was really smart. Super smart. Okay, and then your photo montage. When I first saw this slide, I was a little bit concerned about the edge. And I know that that comes from PowerPoint and their options for creating styles. You know, it's just like it's kind of like a slap-on. So I was initially concerned about that only because I really wanted to see the full image. And I don't want anyone to think that, you know, you did this. Because it's, like I said, it's like an instant thing. Okay, now, your life and where you're going. Okay, I think, you know, you could have added a tiny bit more to that because there's so much information in here, as we've discussed. But I'm so happy that you added which software programs you used. Super smart. And then here we have the 3 final works, and added a shadow, and I just adore this. This page it's really wonderful, and I see your style throughout. So well done, Jenna. Before we go on to Alex, I wanted to mention that I think I forgot to say to you, Jenna, that I think that your whole color story of your presentation reflects the colors that you chose in your artworks, and to me, I think that was why the first slide, which was very different, but what I wanted to say was that your continued color story and your font from there forward was really cohesive, and I enjoyed it. So now let's talk about Alex. Alex is starting with kind of very 60s vibe, which I think was very smart for her considering her movie poster. And these colors, you know, they all speak to me because that's the era that I was born in. And so, yeah, I love this. I think this was a really smart preparation for your upcoming work. Great color choices. And then we kind of just flow right into your 3 images, that you're planning images for your movie poster project. So your inspiration, see, now that is a great point. I like the texture in the background. I think that was smart. I like the orange frames around your pictures. That kind of ties things together as we kind of slide on through. And then here was your final product. And what I'm noticing right off the bat is, you know, how much I love your movie poster and how adorable it is. And your line drawing. Okay, so to me that is a standout choice for you because, you know, drawing is just one of your things. And so when we look at your little text blurbs here, we're continuing, you are continuing that fine line of drawing. And I think that is so smart. It really kind of continues to refer back to that element of your work. And then even here, you've kind of incorporated that line style a little bit. I like how this this slide is almost mathematical. Or scientific. So you start with a statement and then add a little bit of personal detail, and then now we are going down, and I think that's adorable. So that's good graphic choices. Okay, here is your portrait, and normally I would suggest not going with all caps. That is something that I've learned in my design years, that it feels kind of confrontational. So I would just recommend that you could use a larger typeface or font. You know, I'm old school. We used to call it typeface because it was on like a typewriter. But yeah, I think I would go with capital and lowercase, just to make it a little bit of a softer message. But yeah, I really appreciate this note. I love how you mentioned coffee shop, and then you've got, you know, this kind of cafe au lait color here, and it works very nicely with the skin tones, and I think that's lovely. And then we've got your vector image, which was very successful. It has a lot of lovely little layers there. And again, I like how you're continuing with the pink. That's great. And then your hand-drawn style. But I would change up those all caps. And I know that some fonts are all caps. So I don't know if that means, you know, choose a slightly different font, one that still speaks to you. And yeah, I think that's important. The only thing that and I know I love this, and I love the work that you've done, is one thing I notice about it is that there is a large area of one color. And I feel like it wouldn't hurt for your final portfolio for you to add in just a couple very minor details. I mean, right here we've got a very soft minor detail, and here as well. So, I mean, you might have to go back into the editing process and just see where can I add a little definition here, and perhaps on the computer, and maybe just in your hair. I think it could break it up and make it even more successful. So just a thought. Okay, and I was so excited to see the images that you chose for your collage, and I really do appreciate the, how you're continuing with the arrows and showing us exactly where to look. I was really happy to see this castle image, and that you actually did colorize it and just leave little peaks of the photograph, and you did really create those lines again yourself. And of course I would have never doubted you, but I worry about those kind of things. I think in the future that I'll have to request the inspiration images. But for me, this really, that knowing this and going to this, it made it all the more exciting and successful and in your style. So yes, I did mention about the background texture being a little on the bland side. It does work with the color story, but I don't know. Perhaps something darker outer space-ish might be, I don't know, unless you want that, you just really want that golden glow of heaven. So that's on you as the artist. Okay, well done, Alex. All right, and here we go with Abby. Abby, this first slide is really, it's just wonderful. It feels, we get that medieval vibe of those Gothic arches, and there you are. And then, we get that castle vibe with that balustrade line. And if you don't know what that balustrade means, it's that kind of a castle line where normally, if it were the top wall of the castle, this is where the warriors or knights or what have you would be putting their arrows through, and then there would be a little place for them to hide behind. So yeah, so that is a balustrade line, and I do like the angle of it. I think it kind of offsets the your half circle here, and then it's echoed here. The only thing I like your font choice. The only thing that I would recommend is to make your name more prominent, because this is your portfolio. So perhaps, just above the word portfolio, you can make your name, I don't know. I can tell you're shy, so maybe half the size of this font, or you could do it full size and then portfolio beneath in the half size. All goes with your comfort level, but this is all about you and your artwork. So make sure that you are capitalizing on that. Okay, now seeing the same image in the second slide for me wasn't the best transition, only because I do want to see the full image, but I don't know. To me, it feels a little redundant, and I'm sorry about that. That is just my initial thought. I like your font. I like the fact that you're using directional lettering. So, say typing on a line, things like that. That's something that you would do in a program like Illustrator. But I do like the continued theme that you chose, the grays. Really works well with your work. This is nice. Of course, a gorgeous image. Love it. I'm wondering about just the simple reference 3. So to me that, I mean, it's your third slide, but what else can we know about it? So portraits. I mean, honestly, I would think that would be 2 for portraits, but it is slide 3. And I think I would make a little blurb about preparatory images for your movie posters, something like that. And this one as well, but very nice. This one is so different. I almost feel like you need to have just a little blurb, It doesn't have to be a complete explanation, but maybe just one line about what you did with editing, because you definitely edited this image. So show your editing skills, show the programs that you know, that kind of thing. And this one as well, also a wonderful image, edited. Show your knowledge. This is the one that I never felt like really belonged, but it's your vision, and I know it's part of your movie poster. It's just so different than the others, It's like you've got the mystery, mystic vibe, and yet this one is, it feels just kind of like fun and silly, and it does follow the color story, but I could be interpreting this wrong, so you might want to let me know. I'd love to know. And then this is such a great portrait. I love it. This is more editing than creating a vector image. So you might want to just make a note about editing to make my model stand out. Make it work. And then your movie poster, which brought together all those images that you previously have shown in your slides. I think this definitely needs to follow those images. I would take this and just, move it down a slide. And then your collage is really fun. And any little blurb that you could add there to talk about your ideas for this collage. I want you to think about these portfolios that we're creating as not only an assignment for this class, but also as something that you could share with people who are interested in your art, people who will want to hire you, for a school portfolio if you intend to move forward to a 4-year degree. Think about it as a useful tool to demonstrate your style. Okay, I hope that was good, Abby. And we're on to the next person. Hey, Alyssa. Hey, Alyssa. So, starting with your first slide, I noticed that you are not really shouting your name, making it big. All this information is, very minor, but we need to know about you and your name, and we want your name to be memorable, so I would make it bigger. And then this image I'm curious about, honestly, because it doesn't feel like it goes with the rest of the presentation. So I'm curious about why you chose this. It was just something that you liked, maybe. It does kind of point toward your information. And it's not that I don't like it. I like it. But I'm just looking for, and honestly, to be honest, I know we came into this not knowing anything about presenting a portfolio. Or maybe you knew some things, right? You know art terminology, you know about making things cohesive, but just in case, I'm just, I want to be as helpful as possible. So we'll go on to your next slide. And I like your transition slides. I like the colors that you chose and the style. And so we know that this is a movie poster coming up. But once we get to these, to me, right off the bat, it's not clear if you created this image and this image. And I know on my end that you were inspired by these images. So I think that's important to note in your portfolio. Yeah, definitely important to note for each one. Movie poster originals. Okay. I think I would go into it a little bit more detail. It doesn't all have to be the same size font, but you could say planning images like I did in the assignment. You could say preparatory images for movie poster design, things like that. And then as we go down through your images, of course I love this image. And there's so much love and compassion in it and caring. There's things I think should be fixed with it, and I think I've already shared that with you. But yeah, it's successful in demonstrating love for sure. And then your sunflower, it just, with that glowing backlight and the circle, I think that was a great image. This really, already that it drives me a little bit crazy because it's an image taken from a digital a digital font on a screen, you know, a backlit screen, and so it's not very clear. And so here we go into your layering. And this is your movie poster. Okay. So there's things about it that I love. Things about it that I feel like could be adjusted. I know that with your edits that you did a circle around the couple, the two of you. And I feel like, why couldn't that circle and this circle, the circle of the flower, be merged? And, you know, make it like a, kind of like a spotlight and rays of light coming out of the, you know, the love that you share for each other. I think that's a really good idea. And this is going to have to be edited in order to come forward, almost as if you would have to make this area of the final photo darker. So I would like to see your response to edits. Please, please, please. I want to give you the highest score possible. And here's your edits. So these were your photographs, and this is what I'm talking about. So it's so clear in the center and then faded around the edges. And marry that with this image. It's just made in heaven, right? Okay, original image, and this was for our vectorizing. Okay, so my big problem here, and it's not a huge problem, but it's worth mentioning. Your original image that I'm aware of is a full body image. And because of that, and because of the distance that we are from it, your model appeared so much clearer. And we had that dramatic moment of clarity and, you know, the incredible blur. So what a juxtaposition. Gorgeous. And then your vector image, this one, again, we have, it's such a small crop that it just appears blurry. I mean, we can see the flat shapes of a vector image, and you know, I know you know that was very successful, but we're going to have to go with the full-size image. And your photo montage. This one I don't think I got to critique for you yet, but I'm excited to, because I mean, I see the nails first, and then I go to you too, and then engaged, and up around to the record, and then I follow the reds and the red phone, and it just all kinds of it all kind of frames, you know, what's most important in the image. So I think this is very successful, and I will be getting back to you on that submission. Okay, everybody, I hope all my critique is helpful to you, and I will talk to you all soon.